Hi guys, it's me. I interviewed 3 super awesome composers who have found great success on Roblox for a music career project for my class. I've posted 2 different versions of this video, one for my class presentation and the other for a regular upload. So yeah. Anyhow, for the introductions. First up, Yeletez, also known as Yelp. With almost 4 million combined views on YouTube and 2 million plays on Spotify. Mainly working on fighting, Yell also works on various other miscellaneous projects, from Starstruck to other titles on Roblox. Next up, LeonJD, also known as Leon. With over 4 million combined views on YouTube and over 3 million plays on Spotify, mainly working on fighting, Leon has found success and has been working on other titles on Roblox as well. And last but not least, KeyAfterKey, also known as Ego. With almost 100 million views combined from the Fighting OST and Forsaken OST on YouTube and almost 32 million plays on Spotify. Mainly working on fighting as well as being the musical director for Forsaken, Ego has plenty to say about being a freelance game composer. With introductions out of the way, let's get right into it. Hello Yelt, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you very much.
Alright, so first area we gotta cover, career overview. Give me a name of the career that you go by and a brief description of what you do.
So I would say my main career sort of title would be like a video game composer. I wouldn't really say it's a producer, anything like that. It's mainly writing the music, and it's all just work with video games on like the platform Roblox. So I work for some relatively big games like Fighting and some other smaller ones which I've just worked for as sort of a part-timey thing, but I would say Fighting's my main one, and in general it's just sort of like a thing that I do on the other side of doing work and college stuff. So yeah, that's sort of my general overview of what I am. I'm a video game composer.
All right, second area to cover, job duties. Give a general average daily responsibilities you do and the work environment that you operate in.
So depends on what I'm doing in my teams. So say for example the Fighting team, we don't really have that close of a connection to the main developers of the game, so for those it's mainly communicating with the team themselves, sort of giving feedback and criticism on other people's works as well as working with some of the other ones. We try and plan out ways that we can work with information that we're given, which is usually kept away from us only until the main developers need it. And then with that, we usually do something. So there might be a character that comes out, or there might be a map that comes out, and we'll have to go around and look into that and do a little work on that. And then one of us usually decides out of a team of about, I can't even think now, about 10 people, usually do that, and we sort of organize who's going to do what, and then from there we just work on stuff on our own, or sometimes with one other person if it's collaboration. In other teams, I work for this small game called Starstruck. I'm an actual developer for that, so I sort of oversee all of the coding and the graphics designs of things, and I also see a little bit into what's going on in all of the sorts of code behind it, and I get to learn a lot about what my peers are doing, and then I work very closely with the people that own it and sort of come up with ideas and not just music, and then usually those ideas lead on to me making a map theme or a sort of theme in general for something. So that's sort of that side of things. It's always fully online, so it's through different things like Discord, sometimes Twitter, sometimes different platforms online, but it's mainly central on Discord. We usually keep it in forums and sort of organize it that way. It's a bit more wide variety in the ones which I dev for, because I get to see all the ins and outs of it, but usually it's the people that own the teams that usually say what work has to be done and when it needs to be done by. And the other duty of it is balancing with actual real life. So I'm currently in my last year of UK college, which means I'm in the process of applying for university, and I sort of have to balance my actual schoolwork alongside doing all of this stuff for development teams. So yeah, that's sort of my job duties, I would say.
All right. Lots of responsibilities. All right. Yeah. All right. Third area to cover. Kind of a little controversial one. Yearly salary. You don't have to give it if you don't want to. Hey guys, NEDC editing here. Yell told me to remove this part from the final upload. So yeah, all you gotta know is that salary is more of like passive income, because from what I can explain, apparently it's just, they work, and then like 3 years or something later they get paid by like Spotify or like royalties or whatever the hell. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, that's all I can tell you, and that's all you like really need to know. Okay. So yeah. Okay, thank you. Education and training. So, outline some of the degrees, certifications, or training you needed or acquired during your composing career, and important skills that you think someone would need.
So, when it comes to education itself, it's usually not really formal. A lot of the ways that you get onto these like developer teams is by networking and just selling your portfolios and stuff like that. But sometimes it's submissions, sometimes it's other ways. But I'd like to say, even though I don't have a proper formal education, a lot of the stuff that I've done in my education has helped with it. So I've been doing guitar for over like a decade, and I've been like sort of passively composing for, before I joined a team, it was about for 4 years, I would say. I took my GCSE, which is a British secondary school exam, which is quite big, and it determines whether you get into college or not. And I got a 9 in music, which was the highest grade. So I'd like to say that probably shows that it benefits you when it comes to making music. But I would say most of it relies on your own interest in music. So teaching yourself to do your job, a lot of it was trial and error, a lot of it was really harsh criticism, and a lot of it was very helpful criticism. It usually just relies on you, yourself, and how much you want to progress. Sometimes it can take long for people to get into these situations. For me, it only took around a year, but sometimes I've put it down to it can be a little bit natural, and I find music comes really naturally to me. As long as you have the intent to carry on with music, then you can do it pretty much.
All right, yeah. That's all I gotta say. All right, yeah. Next area to cover. This is the job outlook on composing. So, is this career growing or declining, and do you think someone could acquire future opportunities from this field?
So, I did a little bit of research into this myself because I'm currently in college, and we have to do in our music course a little bit on history of pop music and where it's heading. I'd like to say that the music industry is definitely shifting. Radio songs, with the rise of generative AI, have been sort of getting a bit muddled up. There's a lot of generative AI going around right now. But when it comes to things like video game composing, it's actually crazily on the rise, and a lot of developers for video games tend to seek out the individual people that they want to use for sort of what they want to do in their video games. So there's usually hires, there's lots of places where you can contract people, and there's no saying that with this rise of generative AI, it couldn't do the same thing. But usually the teams, especially the ones that I work in, are very anti-AI, and a lot of teams are anti-AI because it could take their jobs too. My own personal outlook is shifting towards both using digital music and physical music. So over this summer, I plan on creating an EDM outfit where I learn how to produce and where I learn how to man DJ decks, because I'd like to have that skill going into university, as I know people absolutely love raves and clubbing in British culture. So I'd like to develop a bit more of my skills through that. Really, in general, just for job outlooks, there's definitely still opportunities in music, but I would say it's starting to become different from what it always used to be with the changing scope of the world at the moment.
Alright, so real world connections. Give an example of someone in this similar career and a brief description of what they also do.
So, I don't know what Leon did, but if I had to say somebody else, it would probably be Leon. He's in a very similar boat to me. We've worked on like plenty of songs before, but he's very good at getting into sort of different territories that I don't go into. So he likes doing a lot more experimental things, and a lot more sort of gimmicky and out the way things, but it helps with the development of all of the rest of us in teams too, as we can see his work, take sort of things from that work and then use it in our own composition. So a lot of what Leon's taught me while I've done collabs, I've ended up using in my own work. If I had to say another sort of connection, would be to sort of my teachers, and especially one who I'll just name Sam for the benefit of the doubt. I had him as a college teacher. I've just finished my music course, and he was a composer himself, and he works on mastering tunes. And I did a little bit of work with him looking at people's mixes, as we were both composers, and we both helped each other sort of simmer through a lot of college band mixes. He gave me a bit of valuable insight. Now himself, he's contracted by the school to work just as a teacher, but he's also given a lump sum of money to help students create music for their bands and their college sort of experiences that they want to progress through. So that's another example of like a direct real world connection where it was an in-person experience and I got to get my hands on with him on something. So yeah.
But yeah, that was everything.
Yeah.
Thank you again for like the third time.
No problem.
Yo.
Absolutely
All
no
right.
problem. It's nice to see you again.
Alright, what's up, Leon?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Should I like present myself a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
It's also Leon. I'm LeonJD. I've been doing music for like 4 years and a half, maybe a little bit more. Not super like sure about. And I thought it was like late 2021. That's all I know. I work for this school game called FLIPSIDE, and I'm developing a game in the back. I'm a really big composer in both of them. I really like doing music, and I don't like all of it. I would say it's the thing that I do.
What would be the name of your career?
What I actually do is just musical composition. I'm a musical composer.
Okay, so kind of like freelance composer.
Yeah, I've been doing basically freelance my entire life. I think I want to stay with freelance. It's really comfortable to do.
Duties that would entail a freelance composer work. What would those be?
I do like I work with a team of people, and we do a lot of like work together. We work in like big projects. I work in sync with like other composers and artists and programmers and everything. But like we've all known each other for like years, so we have that freedom of just like not really syncing for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. So most of the times we just have like a task to do, and we do it in the background, and we kind of like judge it by ourselves. And when we are feeling good with what we did, we kind of like share it, and we have like that syncing time every 2-3 weeks, but it mostly feels like I'm working by myself, so I have like a lot of freedom.
Salary and factors. So, what would you say your yearly salary from composing brings in? Hey guys, NEDC and the video here. Leon asked me to cut this entire part out for the final upload. So, yeah. All you really gotta know is like kind of the same as the L. Okay, so don't cry about it. Okay. Thank you. Degrees, certifications, or training that you needed in order to become a composer, or important skills that you acquired or needed beforehand.
Yeah. The thing about like anything artistic is that you don't really need to know anything to get into it. I wish I had like music classes in my high school or like elementary school or anything. I've never really had any music classes. I kind of just started making music because I wanted to help some friends with a project, and I wanted to be a programmer, but like the programmer role was taken, so I was like, okay, what do you guys have? And they were like, okay, we are looking for like a composer. I was like, okay, like try that, and I hired the FL Studio that day and made like the worst fucking song ever. But that's kind of how I started. I did not really know anything. I would not say I'm self-taught. I did watch like a lot of like tutorials, and I took a couple courses that I never really finished. I got to improve my skills by just doing things and understanding how those things are wrong, and then doing them in different ways. But and then that improvement got me to hang out with even better composers than me, and I learned a lot from them. But yeah, I think I just kind of like, I did not really receive any traditional education, but that does not mean like I just figured everything by myself. I watched like a lot of tutorials, and I talked to a lot of composers, but you can just get started with this shit from like nothing. If you have the will to like spend 12, 16 hours a day on FL Studio during the quarantine, like that was insane. I am not doing that shit ever again. I was like really into music back then. But yeah, I don't think I've had like a proper education.
General outlook on composing. Oh, freelance composing. Do you think freelance composing is growing or declining? And do you think you can get like future opportunities in this field, even though you just said you'd like to stay as a freelance composer?
I think it's been growing a lot recently in like the past 10 years. Like if you look 10 years back, it was way harder to like find a composer for your team, or you would have to like pay studio like studio pricing, like actual hire an orchestra or something like that. I think with the rise of like DAWs and the standard the how like standard it's become to have a computer for yourself, and how many resources there are out there, I think people are just like getting more comfortable with like trying things like music and art. A lot of like creative careers are becoming way more common. I don't know how much that will affect me, because from one side there's like a lot of like new resources that can like improve as a composer, and like hit up some like really big names because I've been getting better and better and my music sounds good. Like, for example, in a couple years, I could be working for like a professional game studio. But at the same time, there are like maybe a little bit too many people just getting into composing, and they're like getting way better than me, way faster than me. So it's really hard to tell. Also with AI, like you know that I don't like AI. It's like common sense, but like I cannot say that for like professional studios. They're probably fine with like not paying people. So that's the whole issue. We just have to like wait and see. I would love to be positive about this and say that yes, freelance work will be getting easier and easier to find, and it will just become like a standard thing in like 10 years, and people will not have to like struggle with commission prices and finding work to do and dog shit like work relations. But at the same time, maybe the market will get oversaturated. Maybe AI will just kill us all. It's really hard to say at this point, but I am very positive that this is like we are moving in the right direction. That is what I want to believe.
Real world connections. Questions being, an example of a real person in this career, which, well, that would be you, obviously.
the super niche like Roblox video game composer. For example, I work a lot of like with KeyAfterKey. He's like insanely talented. He's been making music since he was like 4. He has like a perfect pitch because he's been playing for like decades, and he's studying music. He's making like a shitload of money from all the music he's done. He's like loved by everyone. I'm really happy that I've gotten to work with him. I also work a lot with like Cosmic Slime. He's like one of my closest friends in the composer side of things, and he's really good at like everything music wise except like mixing. That's kind of like where I helped him. But he's like way younger than me, and he's insanely fucking talented. There's like a lot of really big figures that you can look up to, and since the community is like so niche and small, maybe not key after key, but you could like shoot a DM to like anyone and you could get an answer. It's like a really neat community to be in. But I think like if you're asking for a brief description of someone's work, I think key after key is like the one that I know the most about. They've been doing music and piano since I was 4. They kind of like started making funny Roblox songs since like 2017 until they started working on fighting. That's kind of where things took off, and he worked on fighting for like 4 years. He's basically like the father of half of this game's soundtrack. It's insane. And then he moved to another game called Forsaken. Now he's like really busy doing like legal things, but like he has like the best looking portfolio out of everyone in my community, and I think he's making like a living out of just DistroKid, like the thing that I was like just like Spotify revenue and all that shit. The thing that I was complaining I could not do, I think he's doing it. He's like really lucky, and of course he like deserves it because he makes really good music. And it's kind of like the proof that you can kind of live from what you love if you try insanely fucking hard. And if you happen to be lucky enough to like receive proper education from a very young age, but you can technically do it. And he's like just like right there. I've talked to him. We've worked together in many projects. It's like insane. I've gotten to work with someone that big.
Yeah. There's also Prio. I want to interview Prio. I want to interview a couple people, but you know I can only choose 3. So yeah. Okay. Also, I said this would be like a 6 or 7. Oh, 6, 7, 6, 7. I'd say it. This would be a
7.
6, 7 minute
Yeah,
interview.
I kind of like went a little bit over 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Like, a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah. As I said, I'm gonna cut it up. Just
Yeah.
gonna do stuff. So, yeah. Thank you, Leon. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, everything. Bye bye. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
He didn't even say body to me.
I would say one of my personal best works at the moment is probably Edge of Infinity for the fighting OST. It's
Yes.
yeah.
Go watch the entire thing on YouTube. Hello, Argo.
Hello.
Hope you're having a good evening, good night, good everything. Yep.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. How have you been?
I've been doing good.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to this interview. All right.
All right.
So to start off, introduce yourself by stating the name of your career as well as a brief description of what you do.
My name is Adrian. I go by KeyAfterKey, and I'm a music composer and producer. I specialize in video game music, and I currently make music for Fighting and Forsaken, 2 games on the Roblox platform. For Forsaken, I'm also the music director. So, essentially, as a composer, I'm making the soundtrack of these games. As music director, I am I'm assigning music to the composing team and reviewing tracks to make sure they sound good and fit the game.
On to the second area. Job duties. So outline some daily responsibilities you're responsible for doing, as well as the work environment you operate in.
So my job as a composer, unless there's like a specific deadline, it's actually pretty relaxed. I've been able to make my music at my own pace, so I can take the time to craft something that really lasts, something that I'm proud of. As music director, it's kind of like it is kind of a daily task. I always need to stay on top of things, see what needs music. I need to assign the music, then I need to review whatever the composers are currently making. I'm also composing my own music, and then there's also the responsibilities of maintaining like the music, making sure that it's not getting claimed by like falsely copyright claimed by other people. That has been an issue. A lot of people have been trying to take advantage of the revenue that Forsaken makes by making false claims of ownership over the Forsaken soundtrack. That's been an ongoing issue. I've been trying to get like a proper legal team to really help solve these problems quicker, because frankly it's taking a lot of my time, and it gets pretty stressful, you know. But yeah, also for the most part, my work is it's all freelance. I work completely remote, very convenient, because I tend to go back and forth from an apartment near my college campus, and as long as I have my gear and I have my laptop, then I can continue making music.
Yelp mentioned that you would probably be talking a lot about legal stuff, so
Yeah.
yeah. No wonder. But yeah. This next area, we talked about yesterday. You said you weren't comfortable, so we'll skip over it. So
Yeah, I will not be disclosing my salary.
yeah, it's fine. Fourth area that we'll cover is education and training. So, what are some degrees, certifications, or training that someone would need to do freelance composing, and what important skills would they require or acquire through composing?
So, I will say that no degree is actually needed to be a composer. You don't need any sort of degree or formal training or certificate to get a job composing video game music. Though personally, I am studying music composition in college. I mean, it's not like a requirement, but I figured it would help, help me connect with other people, help me hone in my skills, all that stuff. I would say that the ability to get jobs as a composer relies entirely on your networking and your portfolio. If people know that you can make what they want, they'll come to you. Additionally, like little extra thing as a video game composer, if you also know how to make like sound effects, like general sound design and that stuff, you're more likely to get hired as a composer. Often developers will want to go for people that are able to make all the sounds for the game. Sometimes even like voice acting, even, but not always. Yeah. So being able to, knowing knowing how to make that music, knowing developers, basically, befriending them, having them be familiar with your work. That's what gets you the job.
Okay, so onto the fun area, which is job outlook. So, for freelance game composing, do you think the career is growing or declining? And do you think there are future opportunities a freelance game composer could acquire?
So, I would say that in some aspects, that there are a decrease in job opportunities, but in the long run, I'd say that the opportunities are increasing. So one big concern with the music industry right now is the rise of generative AI. Now, I doubt that AI will replace all of our jobs, as it lacks true experience, emotion, and soul. But any developers that wish to pump out games and cut corners, they might use AI slop instead of taking the time and money to hire an actual person. At most, this would raise the standard that human composers will have. The easy jobs will be done by AI, which I predict would somewhat increase competition and make it harder for beginners to enter the industry. However, in the long run, we've seen that as technology advances, music production becomes more accessible, more people can easily pick up music production. And the gaming industry is only continuing to rise. More studios are popping up, creating their own games. Steam is like the undefeated GOAT no matter what lawsuit is going on. And it's only been uphill from here. So, maybe it's become more competitive. Maybe it's a little harder to break into the industry when there's all these people that can easily pick up music. When there's already so many composers that game developers can reach out to, but at the same time, there's more games to reach out to, and it's easier to start yourself.
So, second to last area we'll cover is real-world connection. So, give an example of someone in this career, as well as a brief description of their work.
So you'd like me to give an example of someone I know in the industry? Oh. I'd like to mention Cyber Vortex. He's another video game composer that I work with on Fighting. He also makes the soundtrack for Eternal Towers of Hell. I really like the stuff that he's doing for that game. He's really had a chance to like show his voice in composing through that game. He's made some like really good ambient tracks. I hope they pay. I hope they pay him well. I know Eternal Towers of Hell. I know there have been issues in the past with payment. I hope that's not an issue anymore. He deserves all the money he can get.
Yeah. All right. So now we get to the final area. This is just sources. Usually what I ask is, give like your best work, like you personally, like the best thing that you've created.
Oh, I did not prepare for this one. You know, it's honestly kind of hard to say now because I make like a lot of different stuff now. But I would say one of my personal best works at the moment is probably Edge of Infinity for the fighting OST. It's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
It's it was made for this like really, you know, spacey map that is almost like the domain of this embodiment of chaos, this god of chaos. And I really wanted to represent that with this very like sort of dark mystical track that's also like all over the place. Like I really tap into a lot of different genres with this track. I mean there's like drum and bass, there's hardstyle, there's like this like orchestral rock section that comes out of nowhere, and then it ends off with this like speedcore with a crazy shredding guitar that Yelp recorded. I'm so glad that he helped me out with that. Yeah, it turned out really well. It was actually something that was like 2 years in the making. I originally made it 2 years ago, and like every once in a while I'd kind of come back to it and improve on it until the final result, when the map that it was for finally came out. I'm really proud of how it turned out.
Yeah, everyone loved it. Everyone loved it.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. All right, so closing statements, anything you have to say to anyone, really.
It's never too late to pick up music. Like music in general, really. Never too late to pick up an instrument. Never too late to pick up music production. And you know, it doesn't have to be anything serious. It can be a hobby, or it could be, or if you're really dedicated, then it can be a career, or even a side job, something like that. It really doesn't hurt to be creative, especially in a world that kind of encourages us to continue a repetitive, monotonous job. But yeah, don't be afraid to make the things that you want to make. Yeah. I'm just really glad to be able to work with the fighting composers. They're all really cool people, and it's always fun to hear their music. Always fun to, you know, chip in sometimes. It's always fun when they help out.
Yeah, fighting composers, they're amazing people. If I had the chance, I would have interviewed Prio, Krablushi, a couple others
yeah.
I talk to sometimes, but you know, I was only limited to 3, so
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Kabushi, that would have been a very interesting interview, bro.
It would have.
Oh, but like he's got some shit to spit though. Like
he does. Like on Twitter, always has something important to say. Always, but you know, thank you again for accepting this interview, and you know,
course, man.
Yeah. All right.
Good luck in your project.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Ego.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah. See you around. Bye bye.
Suppose if you searched up the fighting soundtrack and you listen to Place to Be by Yeletez, that's probably my best piece that I've done that's like mega public and has been shown off. But if you went for my most popular work, it'd be Atychophobia by Yeletez. But yeah, feel free to check that out if you want to.
Also, not really for the interview, but while I was doing research, I came to Edge of Infinity that Ego made. Apparently you were featured on it. Like
Yeah. Do you want to know more about that?
Yeah, because it's not really explained what
that guitar solo that you hear at like the end of the song at the 1 minute mark. That's me playing that guitar in live. And like I just did it because Ego was like, I did like a live take of the very start of the solo when it was very early in development, and Ego was like, yo, what the fuck, this is crazy. So then by the end of it I was like, do you know what, I'll do the whole solo. And then I didn't realize how absolutely difficult it would be, but I had fun making it, and it meant that it meant that the song had featured Yeletez on it, so I'm not gonna knock that one.
That was you? Oh
yeah,
my
that was me. That was me playing the guitar.
Absolutely amazing. Oh my god.
Admittedly, a lot of it is like obviously post-processed because like it's very, very hard to play that fast. But a lot of it, all of the guitar that you hear in that final solo, all of that was tracked by me. It took like 10 hours.
10 hours. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's neat. All right. One area that isn't outlined on the sheet, but I just want to kind of bring it forth because it's interesting to see this. But is there someone or something that inspired your composing career?
See, this is a rough one because there's so many things that I take inspiration from. But if I had to nail it down to a very T, I would have to say my parents. None of my parents are musicians, but my parents listen to lots of music. And through them, I've been exposed to tons of different genres. If I had to pick somebody directly from the music industry, at the minute, it's a small EDM artist known as Nina Geraci. She's really, really cool. She makes tons of EDM tracks, and after going to a rave 2 days ago, I'm totally in the mindset of why don't I do this, because I have the opportunities to do this. I could just take them and go ahead and have a good time. So yeah, that's an example of someone who inspires me and what's generally inspired me, I suppose.
Okay, this isn't really part of the project, but I more so just want to ask because it's a little funny, but I'm gonna be like the Tyler the Creator interview. What or who inspired you?
Oh, I don't know if I have like any inspirations. Like this is like something that I think about a lot. I kind of just started making music because I wanted to make music, and I did not want to. I needed to make music to help with that project. And then I realized, hey, it's fun to make shit. And I started just playing around with all the tools that I had. I think my style grew a lot towards what it is right now because of the very limited tools and like free plugins and hacked instruments that I use like back then. I used to watch like a lot of sound design tutorials like with synthesizers. You could say that inspired me a lot because I love playing with synths and just making weird sounds that do not really sound like real instruments. Uh, But besides that, I don't really know what my biggest inspiration would be. Right now, I am like inspired by something, but I don't think that has like really affected my music, especially because I have not dropped anything in like a year because I'm busy working with something else. But right now, I'm really inspired by this album called Fist Volume 1 by IJ and Phonen. I think it's like on YouTube. It's like if the most interesting parts of jazz met the most interesting parts of dubstep music. So it's like the most nerdy genre there's like ever. You have like weird things, like weird music theory things that you would never normally hear in any jazz song, and like insane sound design technique that you would never hear in any dubstep song. And it's like, it's just really fun to work with. And it kind of like pushes you a lot to like try different things. And it's just like the Fizz community is like really, really friendly. I'm not the best composer, and I was received fairly well for the very few things I've made. But I don't think that kind of like affected any of my actual works. It's just like I did what I found most comfortable to make at the time with the tool that I had. Maybe Key After Key and like the entire fighting team and Cosmic, because I work a lot with him recently, but I don't think that has shifted my style too much, nor do I think I've been that inspired by them. Even if they're great composers, I just don't really like the idea of looking up to someone. I like the idea of becoming someone, if that makes sense.
Anything you gotta close off with? Any words of encouragement?
Uh, I don't know. I just like try music or like anything else. You're gonna suck at it, and it's gonna be like completely terrible, and you're gonna like struggle for like months, going like, why do I suck at this? But after that, it's just like really fun, and you meet like a lot of cool people. And I don't know. I've been trying to like get into graphic design recently, and it's been really fun. And I really suck at it, but it's like really fun. And maybe I will get into like everything art related, like drawing and stuff. I'm really bad at drawing. I'm like terrible at it. But I'm gonna suck a lot, but it's gonna be fun to like get past that struggle area, that really big pain point, and just like start enjoying what I do. Like I do a lot of things. Like music is not the only thing that I do. I also do like programming and video editing and photography and a lot of things art related. But I think music is the one that I enjoy the most. And I can safely say that because I've tried like basically everything else. So just try things. No, it's not really hard too much. It's not gonna kill you to like spend 1 or 2 hours a day, a week trying something new.
So, final thing before we end off the interview, I just want to ask if you have anyone or anything that has inspired your composing career.
It's it's hard to really like think of exactly what has inspired me, though it always tends to be like the games that I'm currently playing or the games that I have played before. I know like when I was first starting like my when I was first starting to make music when I was really little, uh I was really inspired by like the music that I was hearing in like Geometry Dash levels, and also like, you know, there's Undertale. I was really inspired by Toby Fox. Um when I started composing for fighting, I started playing Ultra Kill, and that really like that really inspired me to make a lot of like breakcore music and all that stuff. And uh and recently, once I've entered college, I mean, I'm in like a big orchestra. uh I've started to get like high quality libraries, plugins for like to make like a more realistic orchestral sound. So I'm really able to make like these orchestral pieces that are inspired by the pieces that I'm playing in my orchestra. So it's a lot of stuff. It's really it's really like what is my environment at that point in time. That's what inspires me.
Yeah. It's fun to see what composers are inspired by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see the other composers like interviews. I want to see I want to see how they answer the questions.
And that's a wrap. If you're watching this from a class, sorry this took so long. It was definitely boring for you because you maybe don't know these people or don't care, honestly. And if you're my teacher, this is like the most I've ever done and most effort I put into any school project ever. And I went like far beyond for this. So like, give me a 300. Please. And if you're watching this from my channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on all notifications by hitting that bell. Hype this video up using that star icon and comment down below and check out the description for all the listed Twitter accounts from the composers I interviewed and all the music used in this video. And check out my channel and watch my other videos and check out my other socials and subscribe to my Patreon. Give me more engagements and give me money and blah 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 whatever. And yeah, that's everything. I might do something like this again. Definitely not for another class, but because I know a couple other composers and want to interview them as well. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the video, but yeah. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Anyways, bye bye.